So I know that after the lunch session is very difficult to continue the session because maximum in the sleeping mode. Okay. So definitely I have to take such a class at least get from read from your sleeping mode. So it's a really challenging. I know that. So actually I'm telling you, these course designed for research, statistics, software, so many things. And it's very difficult within the 6 days to know everything. Because maximum from the different field, so we can consider it as the heterogeneous population. And for the heterogeneous population, the problem from both ends. From both ends. From my end, it is difficult to give my delivery because heterogeneous population. So that's why today, what I'll do that, I'll tell starting from such a way, there is no mathematics, no statistics, basically concept. Okay. And I'm telling you, software, any kind of software is very simple, very simple. Question is why I'm telling you a very interesting story that in 2004, I started my software career. I started with initially first with the SPSS. So that is my starting software. And SPSS I started from 2004. And then SPSS. But the problem is, maximum places, maximum participants are telling me, sir, we are not getting SPSS. Question is why? Because SPSS is not a free software. This is the real problem of SPSS. Still now it's going. And in 2018, one software came into the market. I'm telling about menu initially. One software came into the market that is called Jamovi. So Dr. Shayan Gupta will take some Jamovi session in your lab session. Hello. So Jamovi came to the market in 2001. And definitely it is easier than SPSS. And for this software there are some limitations. But the question is, so mathematics researchers are telling, sir, I need one software which I can solve it. Some research education, suppose some student from education, sociology, political science, economics. So they can tell, sir, I like to solve some problem, I need a software. Electronics, computer science, they are studying, sir, I need some software. Is it clear? They need some software. It is not possible to learn all softwares. So you give some software name, and that is the open source and easily we can. So then I start to search. And during COVID situation, everyone knows what the problems we already faced. So there is, in the COVID, there are some merit as well as demerit. In my case, I started to study different software from morning to night. Because I have no work. So when I started morning to night, so there is a very interesting theory to know the research. That is called, you follow the diary. DIARY. Why diary? Because DR I always remember. Because maximum times we are listening, but we are not taking the notes. Seriously speaking, it is the demerit of research. All time try to take the notes. So this is the number one. I started to know Jamovi, R, and you will be astonished. I started Python in 2022, 2023. So in the just last year I started Python. So what advantage I got before Python, since I started SPSS. And in 2018 I started Jamovi. And I started R in 2020. So then I thought that, so I need one software by which any kind of specific regional students like electronics, computer, they are satisfied with the open source. No need to spend any money. So that's why that is the Python. Using Python, you can solve any kind of research problem, any kind of mathematical problems, any kind of machine learning problem. Now it is the machine learning era. So now if I am telling you, some student told me, sir, my paper is not published. The question is, this is the era of machine learning. That's why your paper is not published. Because if we write our paper like the 2015 till the previous mode, your paper will not be published. Because reviewers got, okay, no use of machine learning, no use of Python, no use of RStudio. And if you apply SPSS, the problem is SPSS is not the free source, open source. Is it clear or not? Open source. So definitely when you give the some I have used SPSS version this, so automatically your review will be coming that you have, where is your copyright? Your paper will be cancelled. This is the real problem. But recently I am telling you a very interesting thing. In this nowadays the version 29 SPSS launched. What is the advantage? Through version 29 you can solve any kind of social science research, any kind of machine learning research, and any kind of time series research. So the research basically divided into basically two parts. One is the qualitative quantitative, that part I am not discussing, in the previous sessions I discussed. So mainly today I discuss about the quantitative research. So what's that quantitative research? We need some data. That's the data start. And this is the very interesting. You have to know this data is the relevant data or the data is the dumb data. This is the real thing. And if the data is the dumb data, reject it. And if data is the relevant data, you try to accept it. Now question is, how you understand the relevant data is the dumb data? This is the real one. And how you understand that data is your relevant data? So first thing is, before collecting the data, it's my request to all of you. You are the domain expert. I am not your electronic student. Basically, I am the student of mathematics statistics. So, and this is costing, trusting, this is my added qualification. But basically, I am the student of mathematics. So, I am telling you, first you try to concentrate for your domain. If you know your domain, your research is simple. Because maximum what you are doing, we are collecting the data, don't mind, we are collecting the data. And there is some softwares. And you put into the software. Put in the software, results are coming automatically. And you write some interpretation, and that interpretation you are collecting from the ChatGPT. Maximum that will. Now, how we expect that a paper will be published in the So you have to show some creativity, which is not given in the ChatGPT, which is not given in the Google somewhere, anywhere. So you have to some creativity. And how you can ask me that question? Yes, sir, how we know the creativity? That is depending on the. I am telling you, any kind of software is very simple. When today I show you Python, you will tell, sir, so easy that anyone can do that. But I am telling you, for any kind of software, I am telling, start with SPSS. Then you can understand how much time you require. When I started SPSS, there are 13 modules. There are total 13 modules. But mainly, for the social science research, only maximum 2 or 3 modules are required. Maximum 2 or 3 modules are required. Enough. But if you some exceptional case, naturally, so then you need some other modules. 13 modules means if you can, anyone can cover 13 modules, it takes at least 10 years. It is not possible because I need my research part. So now I am coming, since I have won some SPSS seminar, some student told, sir, I am from education. Is it possible to know statistics? I don't know. No need to know statistics. I am from electronics. Sir, is it possible to know machine statistics? No need to statistics. So what you have to know? You know your domain. And from your domain, you know which type of statistics you require. So I am telling you frankly at this age, just believe in your fundamental. Believe in your fundamental. Because if your fundamental is not, if I don't know what is mean, so how we start standard deviation? If you don't know standard deviation, how we start scale-wise? So it's my request to all of you, you try to understand the philosophy of this. Yeah, we are calculating mean, we are using software, easily we can get mean. So what's the philosophy of getting mean? And what's the application of my mean in my subjects? Is it okay or not? What is the application of standard deviation for my research? So this is the first thing. So I am telling a very interesting story that when I started my research, My research in the different way. I completed my research in the fuzzy optimization because that is my favorite area of optimization. But today I'll tell about the statistics. And today's topic basically the visualization. So I'm telling you why the visualization is important. Because when you total research, your total research basically depending on 5 letters. Simply 5 letters. You try to understand your 5 letters. One first letter is the descriptive, that you know. So at least when you start your research, so you have to know what is the meaning of descriptive and under descriptive which are covered. And for this descriptive divided into 3 parts. One is the univariate descriptive, bivariate descriptive and multivariate descriptive. So definitely before starting you start, and that is the sequential process. You start from the univariate, then go to the bivariate, and then finally finish with the multivariate. This is the first thing, descriptive. And under descriptive, you need the summarization of your data. Summarization of data and also the visualization of data. But today only I'll discuss about the visualization part. So this is the first part. Basically, the segmentation of first part I will discuss. Only the visualization. This is the first part. What is the second part? Maximum when you collect the data, that is not the deterministic data. That is the random data. I don't know what will happen in the future. And because if you collect the stock market data, that is, randomly changing. So that means it is a random data. And when it is random data, we need a concept of probability. So at least we have to know the concept of probability. And this is the very interesting thing. This is the machine learning era. And since it is the machine learning era, maximum researchers are thinking how to get the pattern of the data. How to search the pattern of the data. Now what is the pattern of the data? The pattern of the data divided into 2 parts. One is the parametric data and another is the non-parametric data. And maximum case, in case of research, we are not showing this is the parametric data or this is the non-parametric data. So that will come under the diagnostic part. So in the diagnostic part, you have to show the concept of the distribution. You have to show the concept of testing of hypothesis. You have to show the concept of estimations. So every diagnostic part will come. So that is the very, very important part because maximum research basically based on the hypothesis. So you have to define what is your hypothesis according to your research. This is the second part. And when you come to the third part, that is a very important predictive. And naturally, so many research persons are coming for taking the predictive classes. So prediction part, that is because I am collecting the past data. Any business, suppose you start a business. And when you start a business, you have some past data, past information. And on the basis of past information, we have to predict the future. That means there are so many queries, and that is a very interesting subject developed. That is called query optimization. Query optimization already developed because there are so many queries and how to solve some query. And very interesting thing, and query optimization, there are 2 types of query optimization. One is the sequential query optimization, which you can solve using software. Using software, you can solve the sequential query optimization, and that you can solve using R, Python, SPSS, any software. So that is called the data mining. So data mining tool, we can easily solve. Data mining tool basically based on your previous informations, and you place your query according to your domain, and you can solve. So that is called the query optimization. Now there is a very interesting thing. One of the resource person will take that class. So there are so many types of strategic decision which is not the sequential, which are not planned. So how can I solve it? Which are the strategic decision? So that is also query optimization, but it is not the sequential. So that is under, in case of, there is a, since we are collecting the data, so that will under some database management system. Database management system that we know. And this database management system divided into 2 parts. One is the OLAP part, that is the online analytical processing. And that is basically the sequential data mining. Another is the OTLP, that is the online transaction processing. So these are the main thing of this thing. So mainly we are going for sequential solving because we have to use the software. Because software is a sequential algorithm. But which is not the sequential, you can never solve. And then we have to take some help of statistics. Now coming to the part, and we are solving some research based on cross-sectional research as well as the longitudinal research. That part already Professor discussed. Cross-sectional research means which is the independent of time. At any point of time you can collect. But most of the cases, when you collect the data, you have to test it, is it the time series? Because it is the time series, your analysis will change. But in most of the research, you are not showing it is the time series. Now, how we can expect our paper will be published? Because if it is suppose, if I today have no time, I can show you I have solved one problem, that paper already published in a good journal, but still there is a limitation, that is the time. I have solved the question. So these are the things. Now I am coming to the part 4. Let us know. So that's why this is first part. Already I discussed D part, E part, prediction part, and this is the 4th letter, and last part is the C part. These are the 5 parts. For any research, this is the 5 parts. So what is the first D? Descriptive, already discussed. Second is the diagnostic. P is the predictive. But most of the cases, in our research, we solve up to these 3. And since we are solving only these 3 parts, it's really difficult to publish the paper in the paper. Because we are ignoring the 4th part. We are ignoring the 4th part, and we are ignoring the last. The question is, what is the 4th part? 4th part is the prescriptive analysis. Prescriptive analysis means that is the near to optimization. Near to optimization. And I am telling you why this C part is most important, and most of the machine learning are based on this C part, and that is called the cognitive analysis. Cognitive analysis, it is basically based on psychology. Suppose when you are collecting the data, I am telling you I am taking the class, and suddenly one person entered into the class, suddenly, and without taking the permission. And he asked me, sir, can you tell me how many soaps are you using in the month? So obviously this is what is my prime duty, to take the class. And suddenly he asked us. So naturally to avoid him, I asked, okay, better you write 50 soaps are you using in the month. So this is very bad answers I have given. So this is my request to all of you. When you correct this, qualitative research, or say some primary data research, you concentrate about the cognitive analysis. There are so many techniques. There is some machine learning technique developed recently, that is the NLP technique, natural language processing. You try to develop. Another thing is, you go for the focus discussion, and you go for the direct interview. Then you can combine. Another thing is very important. When you go for this type of cognitive analysis, go for the pilot survey. You take some expert decision, and you apply some validation technique. Experts may be wrong, I don't know. So you have to check the experts' decision. So today, I discuss only some segmentation of this D part. So this part one by one discuss with your second day subjects. So many things. So someone you have applied this, someone discuss about the already. Now, I am coming to this software part. So first, I try to learn what are the parts in any software, and what is the basic difference with SPSS, Jamovi, and R and Python. This is the first target. SPSS is the menu-driven symbol. Jamovi is menu-driven symbol. And maximum students are thinking, oh, R is a programming code. Will not learn. Python is a programming code. Will not learn. But I am telling you, after my story, so you tell, sir, we learn Python. We learn Python. What is the technique? Technique to learn Python. Tomorrow or maybe today, you purchase one book. This is the technique. Purchase one book on Python, any writer. And this book on some data analysis. So there is so many books. If I check, there are some 200 books in Python, more than that. And the book is called Data Analysis Using Python. And what is this thing? Every day, you start to write from the first line, without taking any help. Without taking any help from anyone. This is my technique, I am telling you, I have learned. And start writing. And suppose some problem is given, then you go to Google. You type, Google will give the solution. This is my technique. So in this way, I completed only a single book of 600 some pages. And then Python is simple. At least I can write some program. Is it okay or not? So now question is, what is the difference? So this is the 5 is a very important number in data science. 5. 5 is the prime number, first of all. And why it is important? Because when you collect the data, this data having the 5 numbers summary. What are the 5 numbers summary? For data having some minimum value, some maximum value, and in between Q1, Q2, Q3. I am asking a very interesting question. So there are so many definitions in the book. It's given. This is Q2, this is Q1, this is Q2. So many definitions. But question is, a student from social science, how you understand what is meaning? A student from education, how you understand what is meaning? Since luckily I am the student of mathematics, then I can say, okay, this is the definition and so on, so on, so on. This is the formula and so on. No need. You understand the philosophy. There is a data. There is a data. And from the data, easily you can find which is the minimum value. Am I wrong or right? Easily you can find the minimum value. And easily you can find the maximum. So, when you get the data, so first we get the minimum value, and then is it okay? Minimum and maximum. Then what I do? What is the 50%? So minimum 50%. That's all. So how many segmentation? Tell me. 3 segments. Minimum, maximum, and 3. Then what will you do that? So this is the minimum, this is the 50%, and this is the maximum. I hope it is clear. Huh? Now, this is the minimum and 50%. There is also 50%. Again, above 50% and maximum, there is also 50%. So obviously, we can give the name, this segmentation is called Q1, this segmentation is called Q2, and this segmentation is Q3. So that is called the 5-point summary. So 5-point summary basically depending on minimum value, maximum value, and median. So there are how many types of median? 3 types of median. One is the overall 50%. Then below 50% there is a median, that is called Q1. And above 50% to the maximum there is also a median, that is called Q3. And I am telling you, when I start visualization, that based on these 5 points. Any question? Is it clear or no? So this is the 5 is important. Now coming to the part, we start with the research. Again 5. Again 5. First I am telling about SPSS Jamupi, then I go for R and Python. Because I have the data. So data means either categorical data already discussed and either scale data. So what is categorical data? This class is composed of male and female students. So definitely we can categorize gender as male and female. So it is a categorical data. But we can give the any order. We cannot say, can never say male is more than female and female is more than male. So that's why it is called unordered categorical data. I hope it is clear. Unordered categorical data. Now coming to the ordered categorical data. Say income. Someone income 50,000. Someone income 10,000, 1 lakh, someone. So naturally you can categorize the income according to the increasing. So this is the categorical data. You can specify the range. Okay. So that is called ordered categorical. Now it comes to the part. You try to remember. Initially, when you start the research, that is the do. Do you know what is do? Anyone? What is do? So many times. It is the do for descriptions. D for description. O for ordering. D for distance. O for origin. Suppose in our class 9th level, there is a very interesting line. There is a very interesting thing, straight line, y equal to mx plus. Everyone knows. Everyone knows. And there is a straight line y equal to mx. Can you tell me what the difference?
Intersect one and the intersect one through the origin.
Madam, give the philosophy. Don't mind. That you know, every textbook it is given. If y equal to mx plus c is a straight line, there is some intercept c. And but in case of y equal to mx, okay. Can I write like this way for the research? That y by x equal to m. Can I write?
Yes.
Huh? Y by x equal to m. Can I write? So if we write y by x equal to m, we can consider is the ratio. We can consider as a ratio. So we can go for ratio to scale. Clear or not? And definitely, y equal to mx plus c. I am giving a simple example. Say c by 5 is equal to f minus 32 by 9. Am I right? Is the relationship between centigrade scale and Fahrenheit scale. From this equation, we can consider there are how many variables c and f? E. Am I right?
Yes.
Say if I try to understand, then you can understand the concept of dependent variable and independent variable. Suppose I am supplying some variable. For which you get some other variable. So definitely, which we are supplying, that is called independent. But the given value which is I am supplying, that is the independent. And which I get, that is output, that is called dependent. So that is the simple thing. So that is the output is a function of input. Output is a function of input. I hope you understand what is output which you are getting. So in the language of machine learning, in the language of structural equation, the name is changing. But the concept is output. Okay, and what is input? Independent variable. Very nice. Now, say, so when you started software, then no need to remember this. You just remember this operating system DOS. This operating system DOS, we have remembered only D for description, O for ordering, and S for scale. Scale means continuous variable. Scale means in mathematics metric variable. And DO, these are called the categorical variable. So there are two segmentation of data. There is the categorical variable and only remember this. So when you get data, I am telling you, and today I will show you some data set. Then first I have to know, okay, this is categorical data. Okay, this is the non-categorical data. When you get any data. So that is called the information of the data. So first we have to collect the information of the data set. Okay, is it clear? Now, so now coming to this part, hello, please. So with this DOS, again divided into 5 parts. 5 is a very important number. So what are the 5 parts? I have the data. And on the basis of the data, first you write how many variables variables involved for my research. How many variables? These variables may be scale variable. These variables may be the categorical. Is it okay or not? This variable may be the scale variable, may be the categorical. So first is the variable. And this variable declaration is, if it is okay, it's my request to all of you. Variable declaration is the completely okay, and you give maximum time for your research for variable declaration. Because if it is wrong, obviously the second part will be wrong, that is called data. Clear? So what is the first part? Variable declaration. What is variable declaration? How many variables are categorical? How many variables are scale? What is their with decimal? So I will take that class. Okay. So that is the first part. Clear? Number 3. So when this part is clear, when you know the data set, then third part is very important. That is what is the output. So third part is your output. Output means results. And definitely after getting output, you try to take the printout because you have to publish the paper. So number 4 is draft. Because you need draft. You have to take some printout. That's the 4th. Clear? And last one is very important. That is equal to, syntax. That is the program. So these are the 5 parts. Clear? So what are the 5 parts? I can repeat. Variable, data, sequential. Don't arbitrate. Not random. Variable view, data view, then output view, then graph view, finally syntax. Now come to the point. Suppose why syntax view is important? Why Python is important? Why R is important? I have a very interesting story. In some my paper, I have solved one paper, factor analysis, cluster analysis, and so many things, structured equation. And you will be astonished. The output is 40 pages. 40 pages. Because so many output. So naturally, maximum journal reject. Because in maximum journal, there is some paper limitation of 12 pages. So naturally, then I have thought, so how to solve the problem? So if you go to the syntax view, it takes only half page. It takes only half page. And automatically, if you give the link, automatically the output will become. So that is the importance of syntax view. Now question is, when you apply SPSS, when you start SPSS, and you will be astonished that SPSS started in 1970. You will be astonished. And at that time, there is no Python. But everyone was saying the back end of SPSS is Python. That is not the Python, that is called Python script. That is not the Python script. Now in 1991, Python developed. In 93, R developed. Okay. But I'm not going for the history, that part I'll give you. That is the boring part, I know. That part I'll give you. Everything I'll give you, PPT. So that developed. But problem is, in 2000, R coming professional in the market. But in India, some IIMs started R from 2010, fantastic. 2010. And we started late. ISI, IIMs, IITs, they started Python in 2012 or 13. We are late. We are late. Because they started before. But application of machine learning started after 2016, mainly 2016. And question is why? Very interesting. Because artificial intelligence started from 1950. 1950. And up to 2020, this is called weak AI. But AI is not the strong. But now from 2020 to 2024, mid AI started. And you will be astonished, now we are at the age of the strong AI. And it will be continued up to 2030. So naturally at the age of, in the year of 2020, if I write some paper research method without the application of machine learning, without that, how we expect that paper published in good journal? So that already completed up to 2016. Don't mind. Okay. So then they thought about we need some concept of data structure. This is the way. We need the concept of data structure. So what is data structure? Data having some structure.
Organize the data.
Oh, data organize the data. How you organize? How you organize? Stacks. Very nice. These arrays, stacks maintained in the Python. But question is very nice. I will show you PPT. So there are data structure divided into two parts. No. That is the primitive data structure. Another non-primitive data structure. Okay. So telling you, when we apply some SPSS software, we apply variable, we apply some attributes, we apply some integer. That is variable. But when you go for Python and R, so then we have to use some, the primitive data structure. Like data structure means try to understand there are some row and column. Row and column. If you go for Excel, row and column, nothing more. So that's why it is called data matrix. So definitely, and data matrix is a two-dimensional. So there is a single arrow, two bivariate arrow. So that's why first thing is, in case of R, it is called vector. It is called vector. Then we come into array. Array means single dimension. Then we can come in matrix, two dimensions. I hope you know two dimensions. Then, anyone? Data structures, I don't know. What is the next data structure in any language? Array matrix we know. Vector we know. But what is the required? Suppose here, say 15 members are present, suppose. And out of 15 members, so someone tell, or management tell, better you collect, 50 variables, suppose. But management tell, no need of 50 variables. Give me the 20 variables. So initially, how many variables? 50 variables. And how many size data? How many sample size? 1,000. So what is the order of the data matrix? 1,000 by 50. Now someone told, I need a data of 1,000 by 25. That is 1,000 row and 20. How do you create?
Data slicing through Python and
No. What is the? That means we have to change the data frame.
yes.
We have to change the data frame. Initially, have the data frame of 1,000 rows and 50 columns. But only according to your requirement of your research or any business problem, you convert into 1,000 by 25. That is right. So that is another data structure of that is it clear? But telling, so when, very nice. So when R solve, R find another data structure that is called factor. Why? Another data structure in R, factor. Because for a research, there are some variables which are called scale and which are called category. And how we put the categorical variable? Suppose I have some variable gender, male, female, and for my research I have to quantify that male has 1, female has 2. Am I right? When I collecting the questions, like the like scale question 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so I have to give the name 1 equal to this, very bad, 2 equal to bad, 3 equal to average, 4 equal to good, and 5 equal to very good. So how to modify this? So definitely I need some categorical concept that is called factor. Because when you solve some different type of test like ANOVA, t-test, you know this is most probably. ANOVA, t-test, so this is very important. I'm telling you, when you apply some method, you have to know. When you next section I will show you, when I solve some graph, you have to know which is scale, which is scale. That's which is scale, which is scale. This is my data set. And data set segmentation, which is how many data sets are integer, how many data sets are flow, and how many data sets are order category, and how many sets are order. It's by equal to for any kind of data. And then you go for security definition. Okay. And when you start my visualization class in control, then you have to know in which type of graph is required for this study. Suppose we are applying what chart, what?
How to know which graph is required for the particular data set?
That is the domain knowledge. That's why I am telling you taking this class. Today I will tell you, there are so many univariate terms, bivariate terms, and multivariate terms. Is it clear? I have to know where I apply bar, where I apply bar, where I apply joint chart, where I apply the paired chart, everything. Is it clear? Because when you see your research paper, you have to write the analysis. And that's why you have to. Is it clear? Now, so, Akash, can you say what is statistics? Not in textbook. What is statistics?
Statistics would be the study of the data which we collect.
What's that?
Study of numbers.
Study of number. What numbers? Now, I'm giving, this is the class. What numbers? Because throughout this session, 6 days statistics test.
The numbers of the variables which we will
What is variable?
variables are study of prediction.
What is prediction? Because prediction is the third part. I don't know anything about prediction. I'm the layman. I'm the layman. I only statistical data, but I don't know anything. My question is clear. So first of all, you have to know what is statistics in my level language. So try to remember. This is my request to all of you. You remember the 4 words. One word is the population. Now this is the first word. First word. What is the first word? Population. Second word is the parameter. Third word is the sample. And fourth word is statistics. So there are only 4 words. Population, parameter, sample, statistics. Is it okay or not? What is population maybe? So we consider that all students of BCBI college. So we can consider only the population of this engineering college. We are considering the all students of NIT Durgapur, that is the NIT Durgapur population. But if we consider all engineering college in West Bengal, that is the total population of engineering. Is it clear? Clear? So that's why population is very big. So naturally, maximum time is not possible to cover all population. So we go for sample. So definitely you can say sample is a proportion of population, is a fraction of population. So this is the first thing I have to explain. So this is big. It's not possible to cover. So you go for sample. Now question is what is parameter? Very nice. That is the characteristics of the population. Very nice. Characteristics of the population. And definitely characteristics we measure with respect to the data. Characteristics we measure with respect to data. And since the population is unknown, obviously parameter is unknown. Population is unknown, parameter is the characteristics of the population. And what is sample? Already told, small. And what is statistic? Characteristic of the sample. Characteristic, I mean, not going for function. characteristic of the sample. So now I'm giving a simple example. Say in this room, say there are total say 50 bedrooms. So I can consider the population size of this class is 50. Say. Okay. And this class consisting of different ages. Okay. So we consider the mean of the age. And now asking, Akash, what is your, madam, requesting, what's your age? They refused. So, what's your age? So naturally, I can collect. So very interesting. And suppose I gathered 50 ages. I gathered it. And after gathering these 50 ages, I can calculate the mean of age. What is the average mean age? So this mean definitely is called population. Because it is based on the all population members. So okay, we can go for the. But now problem is, if we start to ask Akash, madam, and so on, so after some time we will be in the sleeping mode because sir is wasting the time. It's a fact. So automatically our cost is lost. Our cost is lost. So that's why it's a very interesting tool because it is the optimization case. There is a very interesting thing. Cost is a function of time. Cost is a function of time. Why? Because if time increases, cost will increase. Automatically profit of the organization will decline. So definitely don't go for complete elaboration. Complete elaboration means total survey of the population. Time is lost. So we require a very nice, interesting technique of sampling. Clear or not? We require the interesting technique of sampling because we have to reduce time. Automatically cost will be reduced. Automatically profit will go. So instead of 50, we can consider maximum 10. So when you collect 10 samples, you will tell, sir, you take 5 from female, 5 from male. I'm telling you. Then I can answer question, your class is proportion is not same. This class is not the same. So maybe the 70% male and 30% female. So then I give the concept of, so better, I like to collect the 10. Out of 10, I collect the 7 men and 3. The proportion will change. Is it clear or not? How is do the sampling process? So when this complete 10 samples, is it okay? Clear or not? 7 samples. And after this collecting 10 samples, we collect the mean. And that is called sampling. Is it okay? But question is, this sampling mean is enough to estimate the population mean? No. So that's why you need the required knowledge that is Professor Durgapur that will take the class. Today we will not start. Okay. So this is the process of statistics. Today what I am telling, what is the objective of this throughout the class? To estimate and to understand, to estimate population parameters with the help of sample statistics. To test, in case of testing hypothesis, we'll test the population parameter with the help of sample statistics. In case of structural equation modeling, everywhere, factor analysis, everywhere in this case, test the population parameter with the help of sample statistics. Why? We collect the sample. We know the sample. Is it clear or not? So, this is the main thing. Next part is coming. Next part is coming, which is very important. That is, the concept is called, that is called 9 number 7. It's my request to all of you, when you start your research, you go for this 9 number summary. So what are the 9 number summary? And that will come under descriptive analysis. What is 9 number? 9 number is 9 number. First of all, 5 number. That you know, minimum, Q1, Q2, Q3 and maximum. And what are the 4 numbers somebody? After getting 5 number, you first find what is the meaning. There is another number. What is standard deviation? What is skewness? And what is curvature? So that's why 5 plus 4. And we start, very interesting, we start with a univariate data. That is a single variable. And for the single variable, we consider this 9.7. Now you can ask me, sir, you are telling about all the scale variables. You can tell me, sir, you are telling about all the scale variables, so what about the categorical variable? So for the categorical variable, always when you correct the categorical variable, it's my request to you, you calculate only frequency distribution. And from frequency distribution, you at least you get the pattern of your data. I'm telling a very interesting story. Maximum they are working in the 5 scale, 7 scale, 9 scale. And after collecting 5 scale of the 400 respondents, and if you check the frequency distribution, no one answered 1, no one answered 2, maximum answered 3, then maximum answered 4, no one answered 5. So automatically, any reviewer can ask the question, now why you have taken 5 scale? Now how do you get this idea from your frequency distribution? So frequency distribution will give the clear picture. Is it clear? And from that clear picture, you go for the, suppose I am the layman, I don't know frequency distribution, no need to know. I am giving the line which is more, okay, this is more, this is less. At least you can get the idea, longest and smallest. Okay, so that's why the visualization is very important. So I hope you understand the concept. For the categorical variable, first thing is you have to draw the frequency distribution. And for the scale data, you have to including the frequency as well as the 9 points. What are the 9 point, 5 point, as well? Now question, there is a very interesting thing when I show the Python, I am showing you that why this 5 point and 4 point are important. Because I started from my maximum, I apply factor analysis, I apply cluster analysis, I apply conjugate analysis, I apply KNN analysis. But I ask the question, do you study their basic descriptive? Because if you apply descriptive, then you get the idea, your data collection will be down. Is it clear or not? So what will do that? What you do that? You go for, say I am giving a simple concept, you get some data sets, maximum value, suppose this is my data set. This is my data set, very interesting example. This is very interesting example. This is my data set. 5. How many data? Can you tell me which is the minimum? Very nice. Which is the maximum? Which is Q2? Which is Q2? Median? 40. Very nice. Which is Q1? Very nice. Which is Q3? That means you get 5 numbers. Am I wrong? Right? So that means this is the minimum and maximum. This is the minimum and maximum. This is the mid value. This is the mid value of this. And this is the mid value of this. So easily. So naturally, what's the problem? I have a large data set. Large data set. So obviously we take to help of Python. So before applying software, I am telling you, before applying software, you solve with a short data manually.
This data set is a odd number of data, so
That's what I discussed. This is not my intention to study. My study is that if we have another data, this is another data. This is my interesting one. This is my another data. What is my data? 20, 35, 40, 45, 60. Clear? What is the mean? What is the median? 40. Q1? Change. What is Q3? Change. Which is same? Mean median same? Mean median same? Huh? Again, I'm trying to say, give the fundamental this part, you keep on taking there. That is a very simple. Oh, that is very simple. Just please. So now, my question is, can you compare which is good? First one and second one. You answer first one. Very good. You? First one. First one. You are first one. First one. Anyone? The answer is second one. Why? Because always we are thinking the neighboring point with respect to the mean. So neighboring point with respect to the mean for the first cell, 30 and 50. You understand? And neighboring point of mean is a 5 and minus 5 and plus. Is it okay or not? So that is the mean is very important. And neighboring point is also important. Now question is, now you can say, sir, you can, since there are 5 observations, you calculate manually. But I have some 5 observations. Now how we consider which set is good? So naturally manual observation failed. So I have to take the help of other measure, that is called standard deviation. If this is standard deviation, come into the picture. So you have to know why we take the measures. You have to know why we are going for the testing hypothesis. You have to know why we will go for the boundary distribution. You have to know why we will do the analysis of variables. Why we will go for the statistical inference. So because that's why these 3 letters are very important for any kind of research, that is called WWH. Very important for any kind of research. Because suppose for your research, you know that for my research I need multivariate factor analysis. So this is very important. Multivariate factor analysis. So that means you have to know what is the issue. What is factor analysis? You have to know. Then you have to know why factor analysis is required. And finally, the software will come out. But don't mind, maximum researchers are solving fast. And in the research methodology, you have to write that this is my first W part. And this is my second W part, because why? And this is the last H part, how. And that's for this how part, I have taken some, so, using some. I have taken this PSA, anything. So that is the last part. And maximum reviewers, they will not check your tools. Because software, any kind of software is a tool. They check your domain methodology, your domain, not domain methodology, your domain conceptual framework, and methodological conceptual. Is it okay or not? So, this is now, so this is basically the univariate data. I am telling you, it's my request to all of you. Maybe maximum are knowing this thing, but I am telling about the basic part. Then you can tell me, sir, can you tell me out of 9-point summary, which things we have to remember minimum? We have to remember minimum 5-point summary for any research and 2 points. Mean answer. Question is why? Because automatically when stimulus and practices will come into the picture, no. So with any book, with any literature, we are able to. Because that is important, right? But today if I start, you feel good. Question is why the 5-point summary is important. I'm telling a very interesting story. Say, you have collected data of business. You collected data of business, basically you collected data of stock market. And this stock market data may be the 120 months data. 120 months data. In stock market, any stock. So what is stock market data? That is a return. Return of any stock. So how many data points? Tell me, 120. First of all, how many data points? 120. 120 row and single column. So what is the order of the matrix? 120 by 1. Simple data matrix. Now question is, from these 120 points, we know the minimum point. We know the maximum point. We know the Q1, Q2, Q3. So that anyone can solve. That is not my question. Question is, I am interested that out of 120, is it clear? Out of 120, how many observations will lie between maximum and minimum? That is my objective. Is it clear or no? How many observations lie between Q2 and Q3? How many observations lie between Q1 and Q2? And how many observations lie between minimum and minimum? So that is called the 4-gap system. That's called the 4-gap system. So these 4 gaps is very, very important for predicting some data. Is it okay? So naturally out of 20 data, if maximum observation lies in the above part means more than Q2 and maximum. So that is the good. Suppose in the organization, if we go for the salary detail, and for the salary detail of the any organization, so definitely the management will really problem. Management will really problem. Because if you find what is the maximum salary and minimum salary, and how many employees' salary in between maximum and Q3, Q2 and Q3, is it okay or not? This is a very, very nice observation. Okay. This is
divide the data into what? 3/4 of the
That
data
is-
and below that.
the 3/4 of the data, Q3, what is the third quartile? And definitely it lies between maximum and Q. So we can say Q3 is the upper median. Q3 is the upper median, Q1 is the lower median. If it is the upper median, Q3, and very interesting thing. So for your answer, I am showing another example. I hope that you can understand. Say, I have some observation like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. How many observations? Try to understand. Huh? So easily you can find Q1, Q2, Q3. I hope. Then, and here mean equal to 6. Is it clear? Mean equal to 6. Now I have taken another and 60. Very interesting. So how many observations? 6. And when you include 60, then definitely the summation of 6 observations will be 90. And definitely mean equal to 50. Is it okay? 95? Clear? So now, your question, for this, easily can calculate minimum, maximum, Q1, Q2, Q3. And if there is a huge gap, why? Because if you plot, that is called the visualization. If you plot 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 60, and in the first set, 6 is the mean, and in the second set, 15 is the mean. Clear? Second set, 15 is the mean. And when 6 is the mean, how many observations below 6? How many observations below above 6? And what is the gap between 2 observations? 2. So that's why you can say it's a symmetrical data. It is a symmetrical amount mean, and that's why we get some concept of normal distribution. That's what today I will discuss. And yeah, 15 is the mean. How many observations? 5 below mean. Only one, so this is called outlier. So obviously, so there is a concept of outlier in data set. And these outlier you can write, we can find using what else? That's called IQ. That's what I will show you. Outlier. Outlier is very important. Is it clear? So now I am coming to the, what is the time now? 3:15. So 3:30 I will finish my first session and then I will go to the Python session. Okay. So then, so this is called univariate data. Univariate data. Then I come to the bivariate data, which is very important. So what is bivariate? So what is the meaning of bivariate? Bivariate means there are two variables. So obviously from the domain, one is the dependent, one is the Am I wrong, right? So what is, can you, so I am giving example, the selling price of the house, depending on size of the house. Am I wrong, right? So selling price, depending, is the dependent, and size of the house is the. And after getting this data, you can easily plot it as that. And that in the term of statistic language is called scatter. Everyone knows. Scatter. But this is not my question. My question is, say, today I will show you when I solve Python. Suppose this is one x and this is y. This is x, this is y. Okay. And we plot my business observation. This is my observation. That means which you know. Which you know. So what is the objective? From these observed values, we try to predict a model. Try to predict a model by which you can predict future. We can predict future, we can forecast future. Say, I get some model line. It's a prediction. But we check that there are so many observations lies along the line. There are so many observations below the line. So definitely there is a huge error of the model. Is it clear? So that's why in statistics there are so many methods. So that is called R square. R square. And another is called adjacent. It's my request to all of you. These two terms you learn seriously. That is what is R square and what is adjacent R square. Because from tomorrow this class will start. R square and adjacent R square. Is it okay? Now question is, when you draw the graph, so graph, you write this. This is important for my next session. Graph, we can draw for only scale variable. Only scale variable. We can draw only scale variable. We can write a univariate. Univariate. Clear? Next you write, we draw the graph. We draw the graph for the bivariate. Both are scale. Both are scale. Clear? We draw the graph for the only categorical variable. Clear? We draw the graph scale plus categorical. Scale plus categorical. Okay? And we draw the graph for multivariate also. Multivariate also. So, this is my target for the second session. So, first of all, you tell me how many of you know Python? Raise your hand. Don't mind. So you can help me. Thank you. You can help me.
I just only know the basics.
Huh?
I just only know the basics.
I know this because there is no end of it. Because if you know that I know Python, that means if I say that I know Python, I am telling you. No end. Python is a basic notion. I know that. But at least you can help me. Okay. You know Python, huh? Thank you. How many of you know R? You know. Very nice. How many of you know SPSS? No one. And no one. Very nice. How many of you know Jamovi? No. These 6 days are very, very crucial for you because so many things you have to learn.
Yes, sir.
I'm telling you, you start after 4:30.
Yes,
Do the same simple example, and then you start SPSS.
Okay.
And the same example, you start Jamovi.
Okay.
Okay. And you, when you go for the R class, only you give the data structure.
Okay.
No need to show details because that will be taken by the care of other teachers.
Okay, sir.
You show only the data structure.
Okay, sir.
And today Python, since I am taking Python, so I will try my level best. So what are the important things in case of Python? That then easily you can run your program. Definitely anyone can run your program, but at least you have to learn something. Now that this is the time for tea and